They were irrelevant from the 5-minute mark of the first quarter until the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter. What the fuck happened the rest of the game? For you to be a playoff team, you got to be in the, like, you got blown the fuck out. Like, the game was a blowout. By the way, so I'm gonna give you something real quick, and this is per College Football Network. Okay, these are strength of schedule. So I'm gonna give you some teams who I believe all should be in front of Indiana. Clemson, their schedule, strength of schedule, 55. BYU, 56. Arizona State, 60. Miami, 61. SMU, 64. Indiana, 65. Okay, and then I'll give you a couple more. Georgia, just so you have some of the top teams. Georgia at 9, Bama at 13, Bama at 10, Texas at 13, A&M at 15, South Carolina at 17. The 17th toughest schedule. Now I'm going to give you something that it should be a shocker, right? And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, Alabama should still be in the college football playoff over Indiana. And I'm going to tell you why. Alabama, the records of their opponents are a combined 81 and 41. 40 games over 500, the teams that they've played. Okay, these are the teams that they've played against. 81 and 41. That also includes Mercer, who's 9-2 in there. Okay, they played a shitter, yes, but Indiana played shitters. Florida International. Okay, and let's look, because I got it all written down here for you. All right, so Indiana 3-8. All right, 4-8. 4-7, 4-7, 4-7, 4-7, 5-6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've played 7 teams. 7 teams with a losing fucking record. And it's not like, oh, it's 5-6. Oh, no, okay. There's 1 5-6. Then their opponents combined record 56 and 66. 10 games under 500. Even their shitter teams that they played, their garbage teams that they played, they're also more trash than Mercer, at least, who's 9-2 against Alabama. By the way, just so you know, South Carolina also, their head-to-head opponents, they're over 500 as well. They've played some shitters, but they got some 8-win teams in there. Oh, Indiana's schedule is atrocious. And I know they can't do anything about it, but we cannot just give it to them. And yes, we're giving it to them because they barely beat Michigan, who's been god-awful, okay? And they were at home. They barely won that game, and they've been god-fucking-awful, okay? They've been atrocious. Oh, they beat the shit out of Nebraska, and Nebraska played Ohio State tough. Nebraska's 6-5, okay? We're not doing that shit. Because if we're doing that shit, Texas A&M shouldn't be ranked 15. They got blown the fuck out by South Carolina.
Or Texas.
Dude, Indiana, we're not going to go head-to-head.
Hold on.
Indiana's head-to-head, the teams that they've played are god-awful. You've played 4 teams with a winning record. 4 teams out of 11. You can try.
It's very simple. It's very simple. I can't debate your facts, but you're leaving a huge piece of the puzzle, which is a fact, out of that. Their margin of victory is bigger than Ohio State's margin of victory.
It better
They kicked everyone's ass, Rafa. It's not like they squeaked by. They didn't squeak by. They didn't squeak by these bad teams.
They squeaked by Michigan. They squeaked by Michigan.
In Michigan.
No, it was
not. Michigan.
By 2 points by 5, dude. They barely squeaked by.
It's still Michigan. You can't play both. You can't play both sides.
No, it's not still Michigan. It hasn't been Michigan. Period. They barely squeaked by Michigan. We'll
see this week when Ohio State fucking struggles with Michigan.
That's a different game, and
that's what my point is.
No. What's Indiana's rival? What is Indiana's rival?
I don't have one because they've sucked forever.
What? So you don't have a rival. And Ohio State, listen, they played Ohio State, and the game wasn't even close. It was not even close. You can think in your head that it was. They went to punt on 6 straight possessions.
Closer than you think.
I'm not the only one who's saying it.
Closer than I think.
Closer than you think.
I'm not the only one that's saying it.
Right, let's go through it.
Closer than you think. Can I say something? Okay. So the score to the game was 38-15. And so as an offensive guy and as somebody who's played football for a while, I think what were the key factors to the game? There's three aspects to football. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. 14 of those 38 points were scored on special teams. So what that told me was that Indiana was 2 adjustments from it being a 38-14 game from a 25-14 game.
No, you know what that tells me? That you're not special enough to play in a big fucking game. That's the thing. And I'm going to tell you right now. Listen to this. The first drive of the game, they went 11 plays, 70 yards, touchdown. After that, Ohio State turns the ball over on downs. The next drive, 6 plays for 8 yards. Oh, God, really close, huh? The next one, 3 plays, and they fumble on the punt. All right? The one after that, 8 plays for -4 yards. You ready? Oh, no, it looks really good here. How about the first possession of the second half? 3 plays for 8 yards. Wow. How about the next drive? 5 plays. 3 plays. God, guys.
Let me stop you here because you didn't watch the fucking game. You didn't watch the game. So when you look at
there's 3 play drives. What am I watching when there's 3 play drives?
Because
there's more to the story.
What happened? Okay? They could not.
What happened?
You're not looking at the sacks that were negative fucking 12 yards.
They were running
the ball.
Yes.
They ran the ball all over Ohio State. They ran the ball all over Ohio State.
They had one. Okay, listen. Ty Lawton had 79 yards. That last time on 15 carries. Justice
that's good.
That's 62 yards. They
versus Ohio State. That's good.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. We'll take away the negative yards. They had 141 yards rushing. Okay, they had 149 yards rushing. The problem that I have here is that they have a drive where they had 6 plays, and let's rewind the 6 plays. They get a play for 9 yards, second and 1. Then on third down they get 17. First down they get 2. Then on 3rd and 1 they get a false start, and then they get sacked. All right, so they get sacked. So you're not good enough to not get sacked.
17 yards. 17 yards. You're just going by the 17-yard play.
You still got sacked. You still got sacked.
That was an issue. That was 100% an issue.
Guess what, Ed? That's part of the game.
So all we're saying is that the best team, the best game that they had, they were 4 or 5 adjustments away from making it a way closer game. If this is
Alabama's 4 or 5 adjustments away from being undefeated. There's no time for that.
They lost 2 games, though.
Listen,
2.
The game
3. I'm sorry, 3.
Listen, you can say
Alabama
that you
scored
football.
3 points.
You can say that you played football in Division I and St. John Bosco or whatever the fuck. Then you should understand that the game, there's 3 phases. Offense, defense, and special teams. You are not special enough, Indiana, to fucking play against goddamn Ohio State. You're special enough to go play against the special needs teams in Michigan. That's all that's left at fucking Michigan right now. The fucking turds in Washington, that all that's left there is crap. Okay, that's who you're special enough. FIU, super special. You're great, Indiana, against FIU. But against Ohio State, you're trash. I wish you would have played Penn State. You would have got your nuts kicked in, too. They are not deserving because they beat the shit out of sorry-ass teams. Liberty wasn't worthy 2 years ago because they're not good. They don't play real dudes. These guys didn't play anyone. The one team they played against, they had 6 straight possessions where they punted. Guess why they punted? Because they got sacked. They couldn't block.
Can I ask you a question? Are you going to keep the same energy? Are you going to keep the same energy for Texas?
Texas is 1 loss. I mean, I don't know.
The same as fucking Indiana.
And Indiana hasn't played anybody. Texas, come on.
Can I run you Texas' schedule real quick? Oh, Colorado State. Colorado State. Michigan. The same Michigan that you call trash. UTSA.
Hold on. Real quick, so you know, Colorado State is a 2-loss team. Just so they have 2 losses.
In the Mountain West. The state Mountain West that you said. JV.
CJ, wait. When I broke down their schedule here, Indiana's schedule against the garbage-ass teams that they played, this is what I see. So you're giving me Colorado State, who's 9-2. I'm giving you FIU. They're 9-2, right?
Mountain West.
Okay. I'm giving you FIU, who's 3-8. That's an Indiana opponent. You want to give me 3-8? I'm giving you the
UTSA.
I'm telling you the trash. That's why I went through 3 teams and I took all the garbage teams that they played Alabama played a garbage team in Mercer. Yes. Mercer's 9-2 in Division II. Fine. FIU is 3-8. Another team that Indiana played that I don't have it pulled up here. 4-8, 4-7, 4-7, 4-7, 4-7. Okay. Find me that on Texas's schedule. The turns that they played.
UTSA,
find me that. Listen, by the way, and Texas went into Michigan. Texas went into Michigan. Texas went into Michigan and beat the fuck out of Michigan. Okay, Texas went in against Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl and beat the fuck out of Oklahoma. That's the difference. They beat the fuck out of those teams.
Indiana has one of the largest margins of victory in the country.
Against no one. Against absolutely
okay.
No one.
Let me say something. Okay, Klatt came out with the strength of schedule. It's different than yours. Indiana?
Mine's based on rankings.
Indiana 52nd, Miami 59th, SMU 77, Notre Dame 78. Indiana, according to this strength of schedule, is 52nd.
Well, I'm going to tell you because mine is
I'm using what Joe Klatt. I'm using what Joe Klatt was using.
Per College Football Network. So that's who they're using. That's what they're using. They're taking
Joe Klatt isn't a
Joe
Klatt went to Colorado. He didn't go to Indiana. So
I don't know. Joe Klatt's been sucking Deion's dick for 2 years. I don't know. I don't give a shit about Joe Klatt just because he's on fucking TV. What does he know about fucking putting lists like this together?
Those aren't his rankings. He pulled the rankings. They're not his.
Listen, I'm giving you a source. You're just giving me Joe Klatt, some fucking moron on TV. I'm giving you an actual brand. I'm giving you a College Football Network, an actual website with actual data. Actual data.
College Football Network. What the fuck is that?
Look it up. They have data on everything.
Who's behind College Football Network?
A huge fucking thing. They have
another idiot. Another fucking idiot. Like, that's not on TV.
It's an actual website. But just so you know, their number one strength of schedule team is Michigan. That's who they had at number one. It's the toughest schedule. And they do it at week to week. It adjusts week to week as teams win and lose. It adjusts week to week. Okay? You guys can sit here and fight for Indiana all you want. Wonderful. It doesn't shy away from their combined opponents are 10 games under 500. Alabama's combined opponents are 40 games over 500. 40 fucking games over 500. Not 10 under. 40 over. South Carolina's strength of schedule against their opponents that they face, they have a winning. All of their opponents combined have a winning record. Indiana's is 10 games under. They have 7 teams that they have faced that don't have 4 wins this year. That's what I'm talking about. They have
Matthew Rocha. I agree with you, Matt. Matthew Rocha said Indiana with 1 loss to Ohio State should be in the playoffs. Now, if they lose to Purdue, I understand that. But my bet is they run it up again. And that's exactly what I have. I have Ohio State and Indiana in the first round of the playoffs.
And they'll fucking lose by 30 again. That game wasn't it. You guys can love.
Everyone's saying it, Rafa. Everyone who watched the game, everyone who watched the game said the same thing.
I don't know. I don't need to watch to see 6 play drives.
You should watch it. You should watch it.
It was 28-7. It was 28-7.
You should watch the game.
You guys want to use these hypotheticals for Indiana? Oh, if they don't get sacked for 17-yard loss. That's what you said. You guys use that. If they don't get lost for 17 yards.
Using any hypotheticals.
You said, they got sacked for 17 yards. They could not block it. They could not block Ohio State.
They could not protect. Yes.
They could. Listen, you cannot protect, but you could protect them.
Listen, this game was a 7-7 game with the less than 2 minutes. The punt from their back. It wasn't a bad snap. The ball was right into the punter's hands, and it fucking goes out, and they fucking scored a touchdown, and they walk into half 30 seconds later.
Listen, second drive Indiana had. The second drive Indiana had.
For them to beat Ohio State, it was going to be a monumental thing. But what couldn't happen is you couldn't beat yourself, and you couldn't.
Ohio State had 2 turnovers in the first half. They turned it over on downs, and after they get the sack in the red zone, they turn it over themselves.
They're so much better. They're so much better.
Of course, they're so much better.
They're so much better than everyone.
Indiana does
not anybody except for one team. They're better than everybody in the country except for
besides the team they lost to.
And we don't know about that next week.
All right,
We're
going to
I hope Indiana
going
plays
to move
Ohio
on.
State. I hope they play somebody in the playoff. It is going to be just like Florida State last year. They didn't deserve to be. They didn't deserve it. The playoff committee got it right. Indiana doesn't deserve it. They can. Everybody can think they deserve it.
They didn't deserve it.
If Indiana was in a different conference, if Indiana was in Conference USA, nobody would give a flying fuck about it. They'd be fucking liberty.
Before we move on, TJ, Indiana, Boise State, who wins?
Boise. Boise, and they both suck dick. They both suck dick. I'll tell you what. Give me. What's the best game? What's the best game that Boise's played? What's the best game that Boise's played?
Against Oregon.
A 37-34 loss, right?
Yeah.
That's a 37-34 loss. That's the one team that they've played. The one team that Indiana's played, they got their ass whooped, annihilated. They had 6 straight possessions where they punted.
You keep on saying Nebraska's 6-5. Nebraska, it was at home. Nebraska's not.
Nebraska's 6-5. They're not a team.
Yeah, I know.
They're not a team.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
Guess who's not bowl eligible? Who's not bowl eligible? 7 teams that Indiana played against are not bowl eligible.